I hope you can hear the music. That's always the hope. Always the hope. Especially since I'm trying to use licensed music and I'm just hoping I don't get got. Maybe it's too loud. In any event, Vigilante Williamson here on the 78th episode of my show, The Vigilante Williamson Show. It is November 15th. Monday, November 15th. And I almost overslept for the show. Seriously. Good old insomnia, man. Good old insomnia, man. Hopefully you heard the music. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Who knows? In the wonderful world of StreamYard, nobody knows. But I appreciate that I know you guys are here for me, or here for whatever the hell I got to say. Either way, I appreciate it. Thank you all for joining me on the Vigilante Williamson Show. We have a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. I even have I have a really depressing story to talk about. Which is not the title story. The other one, the title story is kind of funny, but kind of, I don't know, maybe kind of sad at the same time. It depends what you think on it. But, I said on Saturday's episode, if you didn't say that, I'm tired of being inauthentic. I think another thing I'm tired of is just covering a lot of this depressing shit, but at the same time, I do feel it's necessary. And maybe some of these stories you've heard. But either way, I feel it's necessary to talk about some of the fucked up stuff. So I'm actually going to start with kind of the most fucked up story and then kind of ease into a little bit more of a chill space before getting into like the title story. So you guys appreciate that. So hey everybody, hey Killy Child, appreciate you being here. Noble Iro, the noblest of Iros, I appreciate you being here. Or Aro. I always say Iro, you just roll with it. So I'm just gonna keep rolling with it. Low spec Linux laptop. He's a high spec laptop to me. And I appreciate you being here. Brightest day, hell. Hell. Hey, Fizz Chozo. Hey. 5x5. Okay. Brightest day, Vigilante Williamson. Yeah, that's how I try to say it. Hell, everybody says Fimmer. How's it going? It's going. And Fizz Chozo say, hey, if I didn't say that. No, I was saying good morning. And Wolverine Snicket, who, if I remember correctly, was starting his own channel, says, hey, y'all. And so, hey to you. Hey to you. What's going on with this title? We will get into that. Casualties a whore. What is Vigilante talking about? Well, you know what? I'll give a spoiler alert for later in the show. We're talking about the fact that men no longer care about casual sex. I think men have been. I'm going to get into all the reasons. It's a land of 1,000 cuts on why we're at a place like this. So this is the hard-hitting journalism you guys expect on the Vigilante Williamson Show. No, this is actually kind of what I mean, more tangential stuff, more stuff that's less heavy, that I can balance out I thought it was kind of fun to deep dive into that stepdad thing, where that was us just kind of, having a bit of fun. Yeah, maybe it's some social engineering, or maybe it's a cute cartoon, maybe it's both. Who knows with Disney, right? And even this story, the title story is to have a little fun. Did they ever, and is that a problem? I think well, I don't know. Does anyone? There's a segment of this young generation that does. Particularly the females. We'll get into it. Men only care about casual sex because that's what 90s sitcoms said. All men want nothing but casual sex. Yeah, it turns out that's not, I don't think, what men wanted. I think men still wanted wives. I think men wanted wives so they could be able to start their family, know that their family's theirs, because that's also like an important thing, and be able to build their family. I think that's what men actually wanted, and have wanted. And unfortunately, in a post-Tinder apocalypse, that's no longer possible. And I think the coof was just the last kind of straw. And we'll see if this trend continues. If it's casual, doesn't that mean it's casual? Otherwise, it's serious. Yeah, I think in general, men are getting disinterested. So that's why we'll talk about that. So that's the whole thing. It's kind of a the casualties, casual horror war. It was a little pun. I thought of it. If it's a terrible title, it's terrible. If I'm terrible at this, I'm terrible, man. Terrible, I'm terrible. That was the relevance of the title. But let's talk about something that's genuinely terrible. Let's uh let's open up with some of the dark stuff, man. I saw this shit and it threw me for a loop. I mean, I talk about this damn education system. Oh boy. Look at me. I got a fucking what is this? So I'm just there's a naked HD. Bro, I'm just putting this guy in timeout. I don't know what's going on. I probably should just get rid of yeah, just listen, I don't know. Maybe there was a naked HD and maybe they had something positive to say, but I just got rid of him, man. Cause I'm yeah, kill it with fire. Yeah. So we'll see. I used to having trolls. Piss somebody off. I don't know if I pissed somebody off with that damn Kyle Rittenhouse thing. People were I got a little heat. I haven't checked the comments since I actually took my nap that I called going to sleep. But earlier somebody was mad. He didn't even respond to my comments. I stand with what I said. Okay, you know what? Respond to any of my points. I can't stop you, bro. But this is something this is not like it's one of those things that I'm never not gonna get shocked at, right? This like the actual fact that they're trying to push for P3DOs to be normals, to be normalized. I'm never going to not get shocked by this because it's like out of all the things that say this is clown world, this is beyond that. This is like no, this is like Satan world because this is evil. So I almost didn't want to talk about this story, but I'm like, you know what? Just in case there's somebody in my audience who doesn't know something like this is going on, I feel like I gotta say something. You know what I mean? I gotta say something. So a non-binary professor at Old Dominion University, mainstream university. I know these universities are terrible ideologues and shit like that, but they're advocating to destigmatize minor attracted persons, or let's just call them what they are. Unfortunately, this platform doesn't allow me to say it because who knows? Who knows? I'm not even going to accuse them of anything. We can just guess, right? And hey, Wookiee Supremacy, appreciate you being here, man. Appreciate you being here. So, okay, there's an update. So this is about Alan Walker, Professor Alan Walker, who justified P3DOism and the people that have them. But there is an update before I even get into this. This is Old Dominion University's statement in support of Dr. Alan Walker, which reads, an academic community plays a valuable role in the quest for knowledge. A vital part of this is being willing to consider scientific and other empirical data that may involve controversial issues and perspectives. I want to be clear, this type of abuse, you guys can please read on the screen because again, we don't want any more trouble with this platform. But that type of abuse is an inexcusable crime. As an assistant professor of sociology and criminal justice, the goal of the research is to prevent crime. My work is informed by my past experience and advocacy as a social worker counseling victim. I embarked on this research in hopes of gaining understanding of a group that previously has not been studied in order to identify ways to protect children. Walker said in a statement, including an Old Dominion University statement dated November 13th. It's from a few days ago, following recent social media activity, because this thing did blow up on social media. Direct outreach to the institution. It's important to share that Old Dominion as a caring, inclusive community does not endorse, promote crimes against children or any form of criminal activity. The university's statement concluded. So that's consider the university's disclaimer. This is their thought process on this research. So that's their opinion of it. Let's actually get into what the issue was. So in an interview with Prostasia, I'm not sure what that is. That Noah Berlatsky, Old Dominion professor Alan Walker justified feelings of P3DOism and the people who have them. Walker wants to destigmatize the feeling and digs into the idea that it's simply, and this is what we've all said, that there's going to be this, oh, it's just an orientation, like it's a LGBTQ thing. And no, it's not. It's sick as shit. And when I heard like there's conspiracy theories and shit like that, and I guess we got another burner with fire, just burning with fire because we were talking about that. Oh man, so you guys know more than I do. Wait a second, November 13th statement is newer than the other one where they're all in. There's some backpedaling going on here. I don't understand why this person passed the professor test. If you pay enough money for more degrees, you'll get a doctorate. Don't care if you're non-binary or whatever. You get to exactly. You get to a young person. I mean, the only reason I'm pausing is because it's fucking platform and the fact that they're taking down some of my friends. But you can, somebody said what lead pills are the only way to handle them. Pretty much, man. That's some sick shit. And in another this minor attractive persons, this map shit, this trying to like just that phrase is destigmatization. You know what I'm saying? Just that phrase is destigmatization. Yeah, that's man. It said trying to get P3DOs not to be P3DOs is akin to conversion therapy, which is why it's not that effective. Walker claims there's a difference between offenders and P3DOs or maps because they again this person uses that term. Walker said, Jesus, this is sick shit, man. And this is the thing that Walker claims is not immoral if they haven't acted on it. And this is Alan Walker. This is the motherfucker. Fuck me. I mean, he doesn't necessarily look like the guy I'm gonna have babysit my kids. He's an assistant professor at sociology and criminal justice at Old Dominion. I would play the video, but StreamYard, there's no guarantee you heard the audio earlier. And StreamYard is particularly angry at Rumble, and this is a Rumble video because Post Millennial uses Rumble. But they talk about the term minor attracted person. This person says, I use the term minor attracted person or map in the title throughout the book for multiple reasons. This person, oh, yep, this Walker is white, queer, non-binary trans person. No justice, no pride. This is person, actual Latinx person. First of all, I think it's important to use that terminology for groups that members of the group want others to use for them. So we need to show people who like kids dignity. You see why I didn't really want to talk about this? This is fucked up. This is really fucked up that we have people who work for major universities pushing this type of crazy rhetoric. They gave this statement saying, "Oh, it's a necessary element of the criminal justice, doing this research to protect kids." Well, how come what they're saying doesn't really sound like that's the group they're trying to protect? It doesn't seem like they're trying to protect kids. At least just by some of the language I'm getting in this article, I'm quoting Walker. It looks like they're trying to protect the people who are attacking kids. Quite frankly, because no one. This is disgusting. This is why people, the people that did cancel the Netflix, they canceled the Netflix, and I think it's at a certain point we need to start holding these universities accountable and these institutions that push this wickedness on the people. They need to be held accountable. This is fucking sick. A lot of people when they hear the term P3DO, and I'm using that euphemism for this word right here, which you guys can see again. Unfortunately, this is a subject that this platform will fuck with you on. But yeah, when people hear that term, they automatically assume that it means sex offender. Yes, they do, and it isn't true. It leads to a lot of misconceptions about this is sick. Attracted towards, oh Jesus Christ! I've heard the idea that you brought up the use of the term. It suggests it's okay to be Oh my God. This person is saying that the term suggests it's okay, but using a term that communicates who someone attracted to doesn't indicate anything about the morality of the action. No, the term suggests it's okay by trying to soften the blow on what the fuck it is. It's a I can't think of the right word, but it's just soft. You know, you're softening the blow. You're trying to desensitize. You're trying to make it like it's just that little bit not bad. Instead of calling them a sick motherfucker, you have this like PC term that you're supposed to fucking use. For Walker, there is no morality or immorality attached to attraction. What? See, this is what happens when you're just so everything is okay. Everything's not okay. Fucking with kids is not okay. This is sick shit, man. Real sick shit. Because no one can control who they're attracted to at all. That's an interesting statement. No one who can control who they're attracted to at all. I disagree with that. Hell, the title of this, the future story that we're gonna get into kind of just proves that even just for straight people. So this is fucking bullshit, man. This is complete bullshit. In other words, not who we're attracted to. That's either okay or not okay. Yes, it is. So our behaviors, response to that attraction are okay or not okay. No, both. Both. What the fuck? This is what this person does state, for the record, apparently said that abuse is never okay and claimed that non-offending and by definition do not abuse the children, so their behaviors are moral. No, not every behavior is still moral. That's still sick shit, bro. That's sick shit. They need help. That's like saying because someone's that's just this is real demonic shit to even suggest some crazy shit like this. How is it supposed to help kids? By trying to let people who feel this way off the hook in any way, shape, form, or fashion. The stigma against it's a more statement. I'm only going to read so much of this. It's really fucked up. But I do want to at least give you this person's side so you can, make some decisions for you. Make as I editorialize some of this bullshit. It's really evil, man. Stigma against maps is a problem in part because it makes maps think that they're monsters. They fucking are. And it's really problematic in terms of map well-being. Who are you trying to protect? Are you trying to protect children like you said in the statement? Because again, doesn't really seem like, I know this is just quotes. I'm not getting this interview in context, but these quotes still don't really seem like you're trying to protect the children. It's really hard to cope when you think you're a terrible person because you have an attraction that you can't change. Again, I think that's a false premise. I think you can change or control who you're attracted to. So they believe they're destined to commit offense against the child. It's hard to make. He said this Walker believes could make it hard for them to realize it's a choice they have and that there's help out there if they feel some kind of temptation to have an offense or to commit an offense. I mean, shit. Listen, I'm not worried about these people feeling good about themselves, man. If you think it says therapy could be help to them, maybe it can, and maybe it'd be one thing if you're like, hey, let's focus on getting these people in some sort of mental institution to get them help, and that was your whole angle on this. That's one angle. Hey, let's be proactive against this shit. Let's stop them before they do something. That's one angle on this. That's not the angle this person's taking. This person is taking the angle of let's make it so it's that we don't make them feel bad. So hopefully they don't break kids. This is fucking sick, man. He said the focus on preventing abuse will be more effective on focus on getting help to people who are at risk of committing offense. Listen, I think you can be proactive if you know people like that exist, but I don't think making everything soft and cuddly is the best way. These people are fucking sick, man. And so this is pretty much the article. I knew there was a lot of backlash. You guys told me that they had a statement that was a little bit more in favor of this motherfucker. Oh shit, the guy came. Did the guy come back? Or is this a new thing? I see this guy again. I'm not sure if that's an old one or a new one. It looks like he is gone. Okay. Let's see what you guys were saying when I was ranting on this shit. This shit is sick. Yeah, how did this person profess test again? You give enough money to these universities, you can stand up straight in the gender study class. You too could be a professor. Yeah, this is sick shit. By knowledge, they mean shit that is good for them. Yeah. Wait a second. And this is isn't the girl telling me about the statement. She says statement's newer than the other one where they're all in. Some backpedaling going on. Yeah. A reference to what we did with the bot earlier. Yeah. I agree, no. Viral. She has been studied. Yeah. Somebody told me about that fucking German study, man. Shit, that's some shit worth starting World War III over. You know what happened in Germany? I'm not sure if you guys read the comments. Don't you know they fucking gave these people kids those maps? That's what they did in Germany. Yeah, dirt nap for the P3DOs. That's how most people feel with fucking good reason. So yeah, with Germany, they actually gave these motherfuckers kids. Real demon shit, man. Real lots of demon shit comes not. I'm not trying to cast aspersions on the whole country over what a few demons do. But I mean, we all know what happened in the 30s and 40s. But like, not just that, the Frankfurt School and all the evilness that has wrecked upon the earth, man. Lots of wickedness through that. Hell, lots of wickedness through even this country. It's been the strong arm of the globalists for a long time as well. Yeah, dirt naps form. Yeah, insanely bad results. If anyone knows about it. First of all, this prof is a female. I didn't know what gender this person was. I didn't know what gender. I thought that may be a soy boy. So that person's a natural female or a fab, female sign of birth, who wishes they had a PP, only sometimes because they don't want to commit to that and go all in. They're non-binary. I see. And again, if they can't change their P3DO's ways, there's always option of burning them in prison when they can rock with others like them. Listen, if you want to have I think we need mental institutions in this country for a lot of reasons. I don't think all of them need to be criminal mental institutions, but we should have some. If you think, hey, some of these people would do better in a mental institution before they do something, again, sorry about that. Ooh, so what happens when you just wake up late and just run in to do a stream without really getting up. So I apologize about that. But no, I don't think Rumble was hosting the shit. I think that was just a clip. I forgot who hosted that interview. But I think, hey, there's one angle, to say, hey, okay, let's try to be proactive about this certain thing. Let's get all these people that we can in some sort of therapy. But this person has false premises. This just shows you how wicked ideologism is. I'm against that even on the conservative side. But you see, and tell that a lot of reaction to the Rittenhouse shit is some of the ideologue stuff. But like, you see that there's motherfuckers who, because they have this non-binary person has the false premise that you cannot control anything about attraction, which is just not true. That's just not true. You can control how you act on it. You can control who you're attracted to an extent. You might, I'm talking about just as a heterosexual individual, you might see a person that interests you, or, just natural adult liking individual. You might see a person that interests you, and that initial kind of spark may just kind of happen on its own, but you can control how you feel about it, other factors that are more important than you, and that can impact, the actions you do. How many of us, we'll get into the dating thing, but how many of us are going to date the same type of people we did when we were younger? Well, a lot. In some cases, you might just make the same mistakes, but most of us tend to grow out of certain things we may have been attracted to when we were younger. So that proves on some level we're controlling our attraction, just at a basic concept level of people who are normal attractions. This shit is so wicked. Like, I just refuse that. I refuse that premise on of itself. I'm not saying these people don't need help. I'm not saying there's people who haven't done anything that you couldn't get into therapy before they do, but that's not what this motherfucker was talking about. They were talking about just, it's okay and all this other bullshit. Like, nah, this person needs to be put to death at worst, and at best, give it, force it, put into some therapy to prevent it. And yeah, I don't know if Rumble was the one hosting. I know that was just a clip. I would have to look in and see how the interview was conducted. Noble Iro. Yeah, the term is the problem. That term is a huge fucking issue. That term is a huge fucking issue when you're trying to like soften the blow on what the fuck they really are. Because listen, normies don't know, which is the whole thing. So you start saying map, These normies are not going to know what the fuck you're talking about. And that's the point. It's to soften the blow so it's not seen as some sick, evil shit that it is. And it's seen as just like, oh, it's okay. It's nah, fuck all that. Your kids are off limits. And sometimes violence is the answer, says Wookie, and that was Bryce Day with the kids are off limits. This article does smack a confirmation bias. Yes, we need to protect the children. This is why I even cover this stuff. I don't like covering this dark stuff. I think I can only do so much news. I'm starting to realize that there's only so much you can talk about this evil shit. There's some evil human beings out there. Evil motherfuckers. Straight up. And Hail Killy Child saying, hey, what's up to Bryce Day? Going down the line, people are going to be fucking animals, and that's going to be okay. Bro, you're not wrong. Fish Chozo's not wrong. He's not wrong. They are going to try to normalize that. They're trying to normalize everything. Like the Sodom and Gomorrah shit, say what you will. I mean, I know everybody in the chat doesn't believe the Bible. That's fine. But like, that's what they're going for. They're going for the most debauched, the most dark, the most fucked up thing you could think of. And hey, Morgan Holloway, I appreciate you being here. Roll Tide Killy Child says Bryce Day. Yeah. Sup carbon constructs. Also, we're not oppressors anymore. We're carbon constructs. That's an improvement. Buzz sent you, dildo. Buzz. Got to protect the children. We got to bring some church rules of old back to where the adults in the neighborhood took care of it because the law is failing. I don't disagree. I think, but we don't have as much community as we used to back then. Man, say what you will about, I'm from the west side of Detroit. I could ride when I was younger, when I was a little vigilante, I had my little Batman big wheel. I could ride around the block, and my grandma knew people, and there were people, just rando people from around my block that knew who I was and knew my family. Down the street, the high school I went to, or not high school, it was an elementary school I went to at the time. Some of the teachers that taught my mom when she was in school. So there was an element of community there, right? And say the 90s west side of Detroit that I grew up in, there was an element of community in just that neighborhood that I lived in that's not there in that same neighborhood today, right? And not just that neighborhood, but neighborhoods across the planet, not just the country, across the planet. That sense of community has been it's just not in the culture anymore in any major culture. Except some of the the older cultures, some of the Eastern and the older cultures that keep that going. Maybe a lot of Latino cultures. Shout out to the brothers, man. They're the only ones keeping family alive in this country. So that community, that family, that kind of prevented this sort of thing. Like you said, the old church rules, the old that whole thing is not as present in this country as it once was. So you're right, but I don't know if we can get there. I don't know if toothpaste can go back in the tube. And hey, Sherry, I appreciate Sherry. We're not selling Sherry's berries, not that type of program, but I appreciate Sherry being here. What they want is these people to be allowed around kids freely because they would never act on anything, right, guys? So let's have them teach kindergartners. Again, it's a step down from what they did about what they did with some of those studies in Germany that was referenced. I forgot the brother that referenced it. Let me actually go back. James Ritter. Shout out to James Ritter, who referenced some of this evil shit they did in Germany. And then Fish Chozo with a really great thing. Yeah, why don't we care about murderers' feelings? Let's extend this down the line. Yeah, don't call them fucking maps. They're P3DOs. And the only reason I'm using that term is because of how fucking evil this platform is. And Buzz, no viral. Could be wrong about that statement, but I missed it. Maybe I missed another stream that was coming. You might. I'm not sure. Not sure. What you talking about? You told me that. I don't know which part you told me. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did, since you dildo. You guys tell me a lot of stuff. You guys are smart. You guys are smart cookies, man. And yeah, I heard about the German experiment from the Lotus Eaters. I heard about it too. It could have been them. It could have been somebody else. But I heard about that shit. It's wicked shit. Yep. Gave kids to P3Os to prevent kids becoming Nazis. Imagine that. Could you imagine? Bro, I've been arguing with trolls on a Kevin Sorbo Twitter feed for like an hour, and I'm just drained. It takes a lot of you to deal with the idiots in a row. Man, I couldn't do it, bro. I made fun of Kevin Sorbo. Clearly, you clipped me when I was talking about the Kevin Sorbo shit. Like, I don't give a fuck what Kevin Sorbo has to say on any subject, even if he agrees with me, because it's just not that relevant. Oh man, CF, my anonymous assistant. But yeah, man, that you can't listen. You can't argue with people on Twitter. You got to know. I talked about earlier. I could have gotten into an argument even in these comments about Rittenhouse. I'm just like, you know what? This person doesn't really want to. They have their perspective. They said their piece. That's it. You got to no sell it. I mean, at certain times I get it. Sometimes you're going to be dragged into it. But like, Kevin Sorbo doesn't need your input to protect. I don't even know what side he was on or what happened. But yeah, got to stay off the Twitter. Sup? Well, I don't want to dead name him. Don't want to dead name him because, again, this platform's evil. Don't care if someone is trans. You need to pick one and go there. Non-binary is not real to me. A lot of shit is BS. A lot of shit is BS. Yeah, don't no dead naming. No dead naming. You bigots. Yeah. I mean, these P3DOs, they do need to get shanked, man. Again, one thing you talk about, put them in a mental health facility to make sure they can't hurt somebody if they haven't done anything yet. That's one thing. But again, that was not mentioned. This was all about showing these sick demons compassion. And we're not about all that bullshit. Who? Mike Jones, obviously. Yeah, never buy that genetics thing. We all know at least one girl who fooled around with the other team for a bit in high school, college, but are straight now. Yeah. They get straight when they graduate. Let's be honest. That's real life. That's real life. So come on, bro. That we can't control ourselves shit is absolutely shit. Oh, this motherfucker did come back. I wasn't tripping. I'm sure you guys got rid of him. But what the fuck? Oh, yeah, you guys must have got rid of him because it's just showing on my yeah, Wookie got him. Okay. Yeah, it's still showing on my StreamYard, but you guys got him. Yeah, the term is there to get them protection the rest of the alphabet group, which is why a lot of this stuff is on the alphabet group to speak out. And a lot of them do. A lot of them see what's going on. A lot of them, when they start doing it at the parade, start to freak out. You know what I mean? They were, in some ways, they were kind of the first, to be fair to the alphabet group, as much shit as we can talk about their agenda, they were kind of the first line of defense because they're the first people to say what the fuck was going on because they were the first ones to get exposed to it because the agenda was always, the plan for their agenda was always to use them to normalize this bullshit. So they were the first ones to go to the pride parade, see the weird flag. What the fuck is that flag mean? Oh, it's for the NAMBLA. What the fuck is NAMBLA? Do the research and say, holy shit, what are they putting in our parades? They were the first group to kind of see that coming. And some of them spoke up and said, get this shit out of here. And no one did. And here we are. So you got to at least give them that much credit at that effort. Got to be fair to everybody because I don't want to think. I don't think most of the alphabet group is down with this. I don't think that for the most part they're down with it. But I do think it's being pushed behind their movement. It's just the reality of what's going on. Oppressors are at least alive. Are constructs alive? I think Dildo downgraded us. You might be right. But at least we're not biggest. So there you go. Yeah, that bot doesn't make sense. It can't even English. I'm surprised I'm big enough to get bots. That's the first real bot. I mean, I've seen those bots in other people's chats, but it's like, oh man, what am I doing right or wrong? Yeah, Wookie, the modulantes here are so on point. So on point. Yeah, the person programmed it doesn't English very well either, clearly. Mediterranean folks are still resisting. Yeah. There's certain cultures that are still resisting a lot of this bullshit. Like how would you strip with clothing? The worst thing about the term map is that me and my friend play around these strategy games are call each other map lads. Yeah, can't say that anymore, Whooper Trooper. I would. Shout out to Whooper Trooper. I appreciate you being here. Weak family ties is a Protestant thing. Well, that's the shit that's been spread amongst the earth, man. Especially amongst the West. But yeah, there's definitely culture. You said Mediterranean. I bought the Latino culture. That definitely is a lot more stronger in family. So it's not totally gone from the West. Granted, you're not. Actually, Croatia is probably more of the West than the West is now at this point. Yeah, map is a useful tool with geography and stuff. Yeah, the changing language. And Whooper Trooper. Yeah, Twitter's not worth the arguments. Definitely not worth it. Yeah, not doing that again, says the anonymous assistant that you shouldn't dead name. Because we don't want this channel to get messed up, unfortunately. Not doing that again. Was in a hostile mood this morning. Guess I engaged in the trolling your comments too. He didn't bite back though. I didn't I haven't checked the comments since I woke up. I did right before I went to take a nap. I didn't really go to sleep. And I don't know if he was a troll. I don't know if you're talking about the same guy. I just think how these people got really triggered by this Rittenhouse shit, man. I'm against the death penalty for all crime, but these people need to be locked up for life. I think you can make the argument that the death penalty is too good for some people. You know what I mean? You end their suffering there. That's another reason I've never been as big a fan of the death penalty. If you're putting somebody in jail for the rest of their lives, that's pretty bad. You know what I mean? Because they'll never see the light of day, and just knowing that you'll never see the light of day to me is the worst outcome. And plus, believe it or not, it's actually cheaper because once you challenge somebody's life, they have a tendency to file more appeals and all that other stuff. You burn all the maps. And you think I'm talking about a piece of paper, you haven't been paying attention. And it isn't a simp, just a tip. Just the type of tips were cool. Here's a tip for your casual fun time. Yeah. As we see, there's casual fun time is now more video games. We'll get into something more less dark than this. We got a bunch of other stuff. Some we're gonna breeze through, but some of it we'll focus on. Thank you, Isn't it, girl? Thank you, man. It's some Mediterranean, Asian, Irish are keeping families around. Yeah, there's definitely some cultures. It kind of is a Catholic thing. Catholicism, Muslims, Orthodox. Yeah, it's few cultures. It's few, but they're being attacked and they're being infiltrated by a lot of this modernists, man. Whether you call it wokeness or just the millennials, the Zoomers, the Doomers, they're starting to have an impact on a lot of stuff. And Interesting Girl's internet is having a stroke. You gotta hope it recovers. We all need Dom Torito to teach us about family. Shout out to the Fast and Furious. Family. Says such a deal. The Whooper Trooper says, too hard to tell if people are trolls or not. Some people are just legit that stupid. What if the guy just has a wacky name and it's not a troll? I can't take the risk, guy. I still feel like the CF needs some kind of hydroponics walkthrough. Maybe. But yeah, that's it on this. I'm sorry to spend the first 40 minutes on this depressing subject, but you know what? This shit got to be talked about. It's got to be talked about. It's got to be something that's presented. As much as I don't want to talk about the dark stuff, the fucked up stuff as much, certain things it has to be brought to light, because maybe everybody in this chat knew about it. You guys are smart cookies, but if even one or two people didn't know it's worth letting you guys know. May do a walkthrough using food coloring to make smoke rainbow colored one day. You know what's happening one day last week? It was Disney Plus. I didn't follow or cover a lot of stuff. A lot of different shit announced. To be honest, most of it seemed like bullshit. It was shit either that we did already know, or shit that I was like, I don't know if I want to see this. I mean, they had the Secret Invasion shit. I think I'm just kind of getting Marveled out and Star Wars out with new shit in general. And one of those new shows is gonna be this Obi-Wan Kenobi, and there's apparently gonna be a lightsaber rematch that doesn't really make story sense. But here comes the retcons. I don't know if I want this. I don't know if this is what I asked for. Don't get me wrong. There were definitely times just in the past 20 years where I wanted some Obi-Wan Kenobi property with Ewan McGregor. But I don't want this. I don't think this is it. I have a sneaky suspicion that this ain't it, Chief. The Book of Boba Fett comes out pretty soon, maybe 4 or 5 weeks, maybe less than that is when it starts up. And unfortunately, even though I'm sort of interested in Robert Rodriguez, but like that's something you guys are gonna have to let me know it's good, and then I'll watch, because I'm not gonna hop on it. I'm just kind of done with a lot of this shit. Hell, yesterday on the Primetime Kings, check out the episode. I wasn't able to stay the whole thing because I had to see Mom Vigilante Williamson. So sorry 24/7 for that. I apologize. I hate leaving mid episode. But I haven't talked, just me and Mom Vigilante Williamson haven't linked up in so many weeks, and I've tried so many times that I never know if it's actually gonna happen. We actually hang out, so that's cool. Shout out to Mom Vigilante. Wouldn't be here without her. But as far as this goes, man, I'm not. Mom Jelani and stepdad Jelani is how old Vigilante got into Star Wars. Um, and yeah, there's stuff that I would love this 10 years ago. I don't trust them to make something good. If Robert Rodriguez do something good with this book of Boba Fett, you guys are gonna have to tell me first. It's gonna have to come out. People are gonna say, yeah, it's cool, and then I'll check it out. That's how I feel about this shit. Most of the entertainment at this point. To go into the parts of the article, Obi-Wan and Darth Vader will face off once again in the Disney Plus series Obi-Wan Kenobi. At least that's the strong implication and a sneak peek of the Lucasfilm production released on the streamer November 12th. While the preview does not include any footage for this series, concept art appears to show Obi-Wan and Vader locked in a lightsaber battle. This is some of the concept art. Could be a fantasy, could be it could be anything. But there's this. McGregor underlined the confrontation in the interview. He says to have another swing at each other might be quite satisfying. The moment resolves a lingering question. This was not a question. This was the standard. See, here's the problem, man. Star Wars is really 3 movies. I'm not trying to discount the EU. I think it's important for what it is. But like Star Wars is 3 movies. So like even the sequels, I mean the prequels, let alone the fucking sequels, man, what happened in those 3 movies to me are the closest and the most ultimate canon, especially the unedited theatrical releases. In the theatrical release, and I may have the exact terms wrong, but it was I haven't felt this presence in a long time. It implied that there hadn't been anything for 19 years, which is the gap between A New Hope and Attack of the Clones. I guess because this takes place about 10 years, right in the middle of that gap. Not Attack of the Clones, I'm sorry. Revenge of the Sith. Attack of the Clones is the second one. This series takes place right in the middle of that gap. 10 years is still a long time, but still that's not what was implied. It was implied they hadn't seen each other since their last issues. The end of Revenge of the Sith. So this just seems like a money grab. And to me, the most interesting thing about Disney Plus was the stock price falling. It's interesting to me that the cracks in the armor are probably starting to get at Disney. Because eventually, they took down Arcada. I didn't see that, but eventually, I don't know if eventually they're going to fall, right? Disney, so they're too big to fall, but I do feel like that they've had this like complete grip over Hollywood the past decade, the most complete grip they've ever had, or any, especially modern era. I don't think any studios had the grip on Hollywood that Disney had. I mean, there were stretches when you count the MCU, even the Star Wars stuff, and Disney had their gimmick of remaking everything that they still do, remaking all their cartoons and live action. They were just every single big movie was them. They were competing against themselves sometimes. $1 billion movie after $1 billion movie after $1 billion movie. The park going strong. They were just this indestructible this company. Again, most of their profits were coming off of the parks, and they were the biggest studio on earth on top of it. And they were the entertainment industry, and they still kind of are. But I think that is going to soften. I can't tell you they're going to be put out of business. Even though, hey, Kmart used to be big. Anything is possible. Fortunately, I think they're back to too much money, but I think a lot of that backing is gone. I mean, we talked about on Culture Crime Fires, there's a potential for some grants going their way, that we're paying for a lot of this wokeness and this bullshit. It's just definitely true. But China's not no more. And they were paying for a lot of it. They were subsidizing a lot of it. So now that that's not happening, now that some of these investors are starting to see what's happening with these guys, and they were already worried when the pandemic started, it's good to see cracks in the armor. Disney needs to be held accountable for their bullshit. I don't know if this is going to be good. If you guys say it's good, I'll look at it. Same with Book of Boba Fett. Otherwise, not looking forward to this. Let's see what else we got. I'm not gonna deep dive into this, but I thought this was interesting. Uh, there was a lot of backlash a few years ago when what's my man's name? I'm sorry, I will read some of your comments. I don't know that I'll be able to get to every comment you guys said in the chat. I try to read everyone's stuff mostly, but I do got to start moving because we always have a hard out that I barely make sometimes. So I do want to try to make it. But there was a lot of controversy when my man Martin Scorsese a couple years ago said superhero films, what do you say, are not films or not cinema, which I understood what he meant. And I think there's also just a natural fatigue in even the normies for the MCU for Marvel. I guess not totally. Even the shitty Eternals still made a lot of money internationally. There's still some juice left to squeeze in superhero movies, but I think a lot of people are starting to catch up and starting to just sour on them. Ridley Scott, another great director, says they're boring as shit. They're fucking boring as shit. I can't necessarily disagree with them. They become so formulaic. They don't the visual style of the action. One of the best things about Shang-Chi, it just happens to be the picture thing. The one that they're using, they could have used the Eternal, but they use Shang-Chi. So I'll talk about Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, by having some of the martial arts elements of his fights, those fight scenes are some of the best in recent MCU history, or the past 5 or 6 years, outside of some of the stuff in Infinity War, just because it looked different. There's a lot of green screening at the end, but in the early parts of this film, Shang-Chi, there's some hand-to-hand stuff. And I've been watching, somehow the algorithm got me into like a lot of martial arts fights on YouTube. So I watched those, and you realize, man, Hollywood in general, whether it was the Hong Kong movie industry or whatever, really benefited from martial arts style fights and hand-to-hand combat style fights, as opposed to just pointing CG arms at and waving stuff and laser shootout. I think that was just visually more interesting. And so there's all these different elements that make these movies boring as shit. I have a tendency to agree with Ridley Scott, especially where we are right now. Let's see his actual quote, because I don't want to really get, like I said, don't have time to go through everything. He says, he's doing a Napoleon film. Scott seems to have broken off a piece of the story instead of taking the whole bite of the French leader's life story. With the director remarked, "You can't fit his entire life into one film. You'll bore the ass off everyone," which I agree with. Have you ever watched Waterloo? Holy fuck, that's just one battle. I'm sorry, Sergei Bondarchuk. You got to be very careful in battle films. You understand what's going on. Otherwise, they quickly wear and get boring. I continue. I don't care how majestic it is. I don't care how many uniforms you got. It gets boring. Napoleon had about 61 battles. Chuck tried to do with just one, and you can't tell Napoleon in one either, because we're meeting him at the end of his life as a leader. He would go on another 6 years after Waterloo when he was in prison on St. Helena. I feel you can't do Napoleon in one battle, Scott said, before randomly bringing superheroes into the conversation. So I narrowed it down to this. Almost always the best films are driven by characters. So, and we'll come to superhero films after this if you want, because I'll crush it. I'll fucking crush it. They're boring as shit. So he's saying this shit's going to be better than superhero films. And then Fleming Jr., who's interviewing him, asked what's his main gripe. He says the scripts are not any fucking good. Oof. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. I think I've done 3 great superhero movies. Great scripted superhero movies, he said. One will be Alien with Sigourney Weaver. I would, you know what? It's a lot of superhero, proto superhero movie with Alien. Is he talking Alien or Aliens? No, James Cameron did Aliens. He's talking about the first Alien. I guess. One will be Gladiator. Gladiator definitely is closer. And then the other one will be Blade Runner. They're superhero movies, so why don't the superheroes have better stories? Sorry to get off the rail. I mean, come on. They're mostly saved by special effects, and that's becoming boring for everyone who works with special effects if you got the money. And I think it's boring for the audience. I don't disagree with much of what my man said. So let's see what you guys have to say. I won't get to every comment. Let's see. He says, hell to that VW. Couldn't give a fuck less about the Fifis, the P3DOs, Great Bits, or Red Rum enthusiasts. I agree that death can be too easy. Better they rot away forever. Yeah, I'm not a let them sit in and being in prison for the rest of your life is not a fun place to be. Might do a walk through. I already saw that. You haven't looked on Twitter, you might not know that. Oh, YouTube ripped down all of the Rittenhouse coverage except for the mainstream media. How about that? Who would ever thought? Non-millennial. The millennials are older now. Zoomers are the young ones. We're starting to be where Gen X was 10 years ago. Gen X is where the boomers are, and the boomers are where the greatest generation are. We're all old. Even took Ricada down. Wow. And yeah, Whooper Trooper agrees. The D plus MCU Star Wars stuff, just yawn. Can't even get mad at it anymore. It's just like, okay, whatever. I'm not even gonna talk about the She-Hulk stuff. I'm actually gonna get I'm gonna get right into the main story. I was gonna touch on the She-Hulk. Who cares? It's yawn. Completely breaks the lore for Star Wars. For Obi-Wan Star. I'm fucking up the English language. Easy for me to say. It completely breaks the lore of Star Wars for Obi-Wan to fight Darth Vader before A New Hope. I agree with that. 1,000%. This is all fan fiction. So what do you do? Would you mess with a channel with 9 lawyers? Apparently YouTube will. We'll see what happens later on. The Kenobi show will only break canon and fracture the fan base even further. That's my prediction. You might be right. Speaking of YouTube, didn't Michigan's own Crowder sue YouTube? I'm not sure whatever happened with that. Seriously, they're going to kill more of the Lord. The mouse is taking dumps on. I hope this fails because I still got the books. Fidge, says Zax. They're trying to hook me into this shit with Darth Vader. Nah, not my boy. Look how they massacred my boy. Yeah, it looks like some clickbait shit for real. And I guess they did take Ricada down. Wow. Wonder if my shit is going to stay up or is that going to get me in trouble? I wasn't even on the pro Rittenhouse train, which got me into trouble with some troll. I don't know if he's a troll, but he had an issue. Freaking love Boba Fett growing up. Begged for a show about him. We finally get it. One, I just don't care. Whooper Trooper, man. This isn't Boba Fett. They've changed everything about Boba Fett. His ship's name isn't the same. Tamir Morrison has a totally different body type than the original actor who played Boba Fett, so he looks different. His character is different. His motivations are different. He was a character that was cool because of how little you knew about him and how little lore there was. He was mysterious. He had simple motivations. He was a bounty hunter. And they changed all that because you remember him and they can milk him for money. So they took down Ricada. That's fucked up. And I guess that's how he spells it. C-, shout out to Anonymous. C- writers, creators that cannot produce a good puppet show. Absolutely. Boba Fett's not getting his own show. Some other guy's wearing his costume. It's that's not Boba Fett, man. That's not Boba Fett. Now, I do think Robert Rodriguez, who's a talented director, can come up with something interesting in the Star Wars canon. And that will be the draw of the show. If Robert Rodriguez brings an element that's interesting. So, listen, if people say the Boba Fett show's good, I'll check it out. Tend to believe the early leak said the show will focus on a female lead who searches for Obi-Wan because she needs help for whatever reason. Kenobi will be a backseat character. Well, I'm not checking that out then. I'm not checking that out. From human trafficking to diplomacy, Boba Fett. Guess kind of was trafficking. He was a fucking bounty hunter. Oi, Zax. Ozzy. Oi. No, even better. Boba Fett from disintegrations to diplomacy. There you go, Islington girl. Our Islington simp. EU Boba Fett story was epic and would have brought a lot of people back, but that would have been too easy. I'm with the people that died in the film, but I know he got out of the Starlight Pit in the EU. I know, hey, I guarantee that's going to be better than what they come up with. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's pretty good, yeah. Disintegration and diplomacy. The cast of Rob McGregor is Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is money. Bomba Clatfet. At this point, I'll watch that, Zach. Close to the line, dildo. Obi-Wan O'Malley. It's also hilarious. It's got to wear the sunglasses. That's his Cosmic Fusion. Disney can fall, but I think it'll be a long ass time, probably closer to measure in decades than years. You're probably not wrong, but MGM is not as big as Disney. Hell, they just got sold. Disney's everything dies. Everything is fallible in this world, right? So nothing lasts forever. Disney will have his day. I think we're starting to see the chips. It may not happen. It may not happen. But the chips and the armor are starting to show, so that potential is starting to go. Yeah, Martin Scorsese was the one who said something initially about the superhero films for Ridley Scott did. Let's skip ahead. So I apologize if I missed. I love American Gangster. Yeah, it was a good film. Frank Lucas, really good film. Ridley Scott did with obviously Denzel. And oh my God, I'm blanking on the dude from Gladiator I just saw, Russell Crowe. Salty because his last dual movie bomb, maybe. But I don't think he's wrong, man. I don't think he's wrong. Especially the past 5 years has been rough, man. Buzz forever. Got a buzz forever. Yeah, superhero stories are great, just not these ones. Yeah, they're not bringing good superhero stories to the screen anymore. They're just not. Denis has a reason to be salty over Dune because Dune is good. Yeah, Dune did not do good as far as Hollywood goes. You say he lost credibility when he said his characters are superheroes. I understand what he was trying to say. They're not. They're. Listen, I would say. I don't know if the Ripley in the first Alien is a superhero. The second one, I would say there's something to that. I think what he means is these are larger than life protagonists. They're not just. There's a difference between a protagonist and something a little bit more grounded. Blade Runner, obviously, being all futuristic is not the most grounded thing. Even Gladiator, which is still, more grounded of a story, has a fantastic element to it. Like, even though there's no like actual supernatural things going on, there's still a fantastic element to it. So I think that's what he was talking about when he said that. It's more of a euphemism. I got what he was trying to say. Yeah, Dune didn't do so good. And Whoopa Troopa is Gen Z. Mwahaha. So you're one of the Zoomers or the Doomers. It did okay. Not as well as it should. HBO Max didn't get in the way. I know that was a big part of litigation. I guess that's why Kevin Feige doesn't like Daredevil to focus too much on the story. I think Daredevil might be the best thing the MCU did, especially as far as the TV show. I still think Winter Soldier is probably peak MCU for me, but Daredevil's up there. Zach says, did I miss something? I'm identifying as an Asian Canadian. Otherwise, Shang-Chi isn't for me. Well, it wasn't for actual Asian. It wasn't for actual China. China didn't want it. But no, listen, the action in it was pretty good the first 40 minutes. The first 40 minutes to me are okay. Above average for what we get. Then it just fell off a cliff. An anime Canadian. I'm not as big of an anime fan. So half. I'm from Michigan. It's close to Canada. So Ricada did get back up, says Whoopa Trooper. Oh, wait, you were asking. I don't know what you were asking. I skipped some stuff. CF is still responding to trolls. I don't know why he's doing that. He needs an adult. Why are you mad, bro? Says the girl. Yeah, why are you mad? What am I mad about? LOL Connor as Obi-Wan. Vader, you fucking twat. Kick your ass once, kick your ass fucking again. Rip the Alien. Yeah, and Alien's Survivor. The second one, she's a Chase Charge actor. I'm like, Alien. I don't know if she was a superhero in that. I wouldn't consider that one. Blade Runner and is it Claudius Maximus? What was his name in Gladiator? You can make those arguments that they exist in a similar world of there's some similar crossover between what you would do in a superhero story and what you would do in their stories. Why did Connor sound like ass in my head? Because you're a bigot towards our friends in Europe. An Alien. And Frank Lucas is a superhero for real. He's one of the most powerful dope dealers in history. Alien 1 and Alien 2 mirror Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, and both. The first of both is a horror film. The second of both is an action film. Completely different tones. Yeah, I agree with that. I didn't necessarily. I mean, it's probably an easy connection to Alien. I do feel like Terminator 1, even though there's definitely some horror elements, still has a little bit more, is more of an action film than Alien 1. But yeah, they both are basically horror films. Especially Alien definitely is. First Alien is undoubtedly a horror film. Did okay, just didn't do big domestically, but was great internationally. That's all that matters as long as you get the money. Has a little bit to go though, about the same as any other MCU film. Highest box office, plus on a much smaller budget. Is it at smaller budget? Because that's gonna have a huge impact. Budgetary, if they got Doom done for a smaller budget, there's a huge chance it's going to be a sequel. I know a lot of people worried about that. Original plot Alien, no one lived. And all whammons be superhero, bro. Let's actually use that comment on transition. Apparently, since you did those busy out here in these streets. He's a busy guy. You know how I know? Because single men don't care about casual sex anymore. I'm not shocked, man. I'm not shocked. I remember, I couldn't even tell you what the context of the panel. I want to say it was one of the MF for cocktail lounges. And somebody said, man, yeah, everything we do is for pussy, right? And I was thinking in my head, like, I don't know if I feel that way anymore. I think men in general, there was a huge time in, remember the 90s when it was Jodeci and all these simps? They were making good music, but they were simps. There was an era where men would do anything for women, anything for pussy, man. When I was younger, I said pussy was the most precious resource on earth because it was the thing that drove everything. A guy didn't become a millionaire just to become a millionaire. He became a millionaire so he can get a Lamborghini so he can fuck models. Now guys don't even give a shit no more. The most precious resource on earth from a few years ago has been fucking plummeted. And I'll be honest, I've been feeling this way for especially the past couple years. This is maybe big time related, but it's more just like, just kind of want to get into some of my thoughts on why this could be and some anecdotes from my own life. I think it's an interesting concept. But yeah, I just felt like, one, there's so much risk now. The idea of you finding someone in the workplace has been destroyed by Me Too, because I will never say anything remotely sexual at all in any workplace. And I don't think any man with any sense is anymore. So there's one whole phase of talking to women totally fucking gone. And then we're not just going to talk about casual sex, because I don't think men are just uninterested in casual sex. I think a lot of men are uninterested in relationships altogether. I also think, hell, man, video games, other shit to do. There's a lot of shit to do. I'm a guy, a certain plant and an emulator. I don't need much, man. I can play Tetris and enjoy my plant all day long and not give a fuck about what a woman has to say about anything. See, the thing is, casual sex, there's no free lunches. And men realize that. There's no, very few men are going to be able to just screw who they want and get a free lunch. Very few. There are strings attached. There just are. And I think guys are just tired. There's thought fatigue. There's thoughts everywhere. There's OnlyFans. There's the hub on top of it. There's so much risk now. Hell, in this state that I live in, let's say I was the single, ready to mingle motherfucker. I could conceivably tonight date a girl, get lucky, take her on Space Mountain, on Vigilante Space Mountain. Shout out to Ric Flair. She could be a daughter of Ric Flair because it's in the Carolinas. Take her to Space Mountain. 6-7 months from now, she can rescind consent legally. I don't know that any case has been tried in such a way, but the legal possibility now exists. And lots of men know stuff like that. So they're thinking, God, I want to go to jail for some box. And speaking of box, here comes Naked. This is why the guy showed up. I'm sure you guys already got them. Maybe you didn't. You got a surplus of thoughts. The thought economy is inflated. Exactly. And this is another thing. Isn't the girl, you're not joking. That herp, don't you know? Listen, there's an interesting thing going on. Amongst men, sex is going down. We have the highest amount of male virgins. Everyone jokes, you're a virgin. Yeah, a lot of cases, that's true. Like, highest amount of male virgins, while on the female side, single motherhood's up, STDs are up. Again, guys know that. They're like, I don't know if I want to deal with this. Single motherhood is another thing, man. These girls, by the time they're 22, 23, already got kids. Jeez, I'm not really trying to deal with that shit. I'm not trying to deal with that shit. Bro, sit your dildo. Fuck body pillows. Some guys are on no fap. They don't give a fuck about busting a nut no more. They don't care. You've told a generation of men that they're toxic. Some motherfuckers took the shit to heart and said, fuck it. I'm not going to fuck anything, including myself. This is a crazy story. It's crazy. I haven't even got into it. Here's another thing. This is the first day we're going for a slutty summer. Slutty summer, hot girl summer. The average guy doesn't want to deal with hot girl summer, thought girl summer. You know what the average guy just wanted? Just wanted a wife. Back in the days, by the time you were 23, yeah, you may have had 3 kids, but you also had a husband. He was working. And that's what it was. You guys were building a family together in your early 20s. Now that same girl has 3 kids by 3 different baby daddies. And you can't even, you bigots think, trying to blame my people. Well, your people, that's, the co-parenting gimmick. That's what's hot in the streets now. I know damn near 40-year-old white ladies that have hit buzzer beaters on guys. This is, if you want to be honest, girls with their last bit of eggs just randomly figure out, just randomly end up pregnant. It's interesting how that happened. You're 38 with no kids, and somehow you ended up pregnant. It's funny that, your entire 20 plus years of sex beforehand, you didn't manage to produce any kids, but now at this point you did. That's just interesting. That's interesting. Whatever. All these factors, that factor. Nobody wants to be trapped. You don't want to have a trap baby. There's just too much risk for most guys. And you've beaten the interest out of us, society, feminism, everything. I think it's too much risk. It's too much risk. This comes from a Match.com study that a majority of men could care less about sex in 2021. It's nothing. The pandemic for a lot of people, not just men, women, everybody, just put life into perspective. You start thinking about what the fuck is really important in this world. And chasing rando box just ain't it, Chief. 81% of single men said sex is less important than it was before the pandemic. Nothing happened in the past 2 years of this pandemic. Y'all joke about VigTile, MGTOW, Vig. Man, most men have seen at least one MGTOW video the past 2 years. At least one thing. And not everybody's going to go hardcore MGTOW. And there's plenty. Trust me, I got into my own shit storm about that back on the earlier this year about channels criticizing MGTOW, because there's lots to criticize. They can be He-Man woman haters. They can be obsessed with women, but they're still doesn't mean they're always wrong, especially when they're talking about marriage. Again, this article is focused on casual sex, but guys are starting to link things up. A lot of those casual sex hookups end up, more than that. It does it in there. This is according to them, it's a jaw-dropping stat. It's not the lackluster libido. So I don't think men have lacked libido. They see a pretty woman, they still react to it. But the thought process is that it used to be a pretty woman lizard brain. They never even got into their intellectual, their adult mammal brain. It was just lizard brain. And they never even figured it out. Nowadays, the mammal brain kicks in and said, whoa, what's coming along with it? Another thing, who the fuck, you think the average guy wants to be on Tinder? Are you kidding? Have you done this online? Have you motherfuckers dated online? MGTOW? Not MGTOW. I'm confused. No, MGTOW. MGTOW. Men going their own way. And it is very cringe. Since your dildo's not wrong. It's very cringe. But in his heart, it talks about how the marriage laws are fucked up in this country. You can lose half your shit because the relationship didn't work out. God damn, half? People are not trying to go through that. Fuck, you can lose half your shit if you have a living girlfriend in some states and it doesn't work out. Jesus Christ. Look at this shit. Ex-wife poisoned me once or twice, but she was really hot. God damn. I'm glad we didn't get loads of cosmic fusion. If you want to go your own way, go. I'm not going to bother you. Got to respect other people's choices. Just silently sexualize you as you walk away. That's the innocent shit we know and love. But shit, even this, listen, I know somebody. I'm not going to say, I know somebody who's had some recent issues, fuck up their life with a woman. That's another thing. There's some vindictive girls out there. And I know. Not all girls are like that. You're not wrong. But from my perspective, the statistical odds of getting a girl that isn't like that is just too fucking low. It just is. And let's be honest, I ain't Brad Pitt. I ain't Idris Elba. You know what I mean? I'm not somebody who's just gonna get the baddest girl on earth, or it's not gonna be easy to attract somebody for me. And women's standards are sky high. Do you know how many TikToks there are of women who are not the best looking girls calling themselves 10s and doing all this other crazy shit? It's just a chore. It's just a chore. This whole relationship thing, the casual sex thing, for a lot of men has just become a chore, has just become a lot of the risk of negativity is just too high. Again, certain places like the workplace are just cut out for any interaction. There's no way in a post Me Too world that most guys are going to say anything to any woman at work. It's a perfect storm. And then when you have the pandemic, where a lot of guys lost their jobs, you know what I mean, and maybe weren't as attractive to their mate, and that probably hit them like a ton of bricks. And now they're like, you know what? I'm not rushing into anything. Even me, I came into the pandemic with a relationship. That shit ended. I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing this shit again. Is that for February? Probably not. But I'm not rushing into no fucking relationship anytime soon. Hell, Mom Jelani, like I said, I caught up with her yesterday. Shout out to Mom Vigilante Williamson. She asked me, "Are you talking to somebody?" I'm like, "Nah, nope. Talking to you guys. Talking to you guys." And Morgan Holloway, I hope you seem like a cool wife. I wish you in the house of Holloway the best. You guys have to keep on families. You guys have to keep marriage alive, because a lot of us just can't take the risk. Just can't take the risk. There are good women out there. There are good men out there. Just the risk right now. A lot of guys lose their jobs. They're not feeling at their best. This is a perfect storm. Perfect storm. And I think it's interesting. Sheesh. And I think, hell, another element of this, especially when you specify casual sex, the guys that are interested in relationships, the guys who do want to spin the wheel on this crazy carousel of relationships, the last thing they want is a slutty summer. The last thing they want is a hot girl summer. Last thing they want is casual. The last thing they want is to potentially date someone and have that person's baggage eat them. And I'm not saying that the same thing can't happen to women as far as men's baggage. Lord knows that's not the case. But this article specifically is about, men are thought of as these pigs. Men are pigs. They only want one thing. Well, shit, 81%, according to Match.com. And Match.com is going to be, probably the most people most interested in sex. That's not what men want. And I'm not shocked, because almost relieved to see it. Oh man, I thought it was just me. That where it's like, nah, pussy's not the biggest motivation anymore. I think when guys are younger, it tends to be, but now you get a little older, we got all this craziness going on in the world. You think I want to, and I can't, me personally, I can't decouple relationships. I can't decouple sex from relationships from potential family, right? Because that's technically how it's supposed to work, especially as I get older. So it's like, I want to bring a kid into the world when they're normalizing maps. So I don't want to I'm not even going to talk to nobody. Again, I'd rather, especially me working 60 hours a week, doing YouTube, trying to learn guitar in the time I got. Last thing I want is to get in the middle of this. And hell, some of the relationships, some of the online dating I've done, fuck, man, I was talking to this one girl. She was a motherfucking, what was it? Like, do you know, you remember the chat lines back in the 90s? The 900 numbers, hot sex talk and shit like that. Do you know they still got online versions of that? Where the girls don't even show their bodies. They just talk shit and get guys to jerk. So I dated a girl. Turns out this is what she did for a living. I was like, okay. This chick was not that attractive. I'm not saying I was that attractive, but she was not that attractive. And this, you see how big I am now. I was not big as I am now. In fact, I don't think I was as big as she was. Because at that point, I'm about 250. She might have been around 252. And she was shorter than me. So you can imagine. So you got this, festively plump chick, does sex work, talking shit, telling me all the standards she has, all the shit she wants, all this stuff with this. I remember being in the phone talking to this woman. It was about an hour conversation. And I knew halfway through this conversation, this is the last conversation I'm going to have with this woman. And when it got off, blocked her, never heard from her again. Had no interest. I'm not about to go through this craziness. This was years ago. This is before the pandemic. This is like 2015. No, it had to be 2016 because since I moved to the South. I think it was 2016, 2017. Other crazy ones. Met some crazy bitches online. Don't feel like going. I don't feel like trying to dial myself up to get a picture and try and get multiple pictures and do pictures at bars. I don't feel like doing that shit. Writing some bullshit in the profile, messaging thousands of bitches who don't respond, all to hopefully fuck some ugly chick that doesn't like me. Like, that's not cool anymore. It's much simpler to play Mario on emulator or play Final Fantasy 7 on emulator and smoke weed. That's a way easier prospect. It just is. It just is. So I'm going to play the meme of the day. I'm going to see what you guys have to say, and then we are going to play, do the easy, the positive stories of the day, and get out of here. Quick meme of the day. Quick meme of the day. I just saw it, thought it was funny. I want you guys to, tell me something Mom doesn't know. Shout out to Britain. Shout out to the blokes in Britain. Hopefully, you guys can hear it. I hope you guys can hear it. I think it's still pretty funny without hearing. Meme of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. So we're running a little short on time, but I still want you guys' input, and then we'll get in the positive story and get on out of here. Do dildos wear socks? This is a hard-hitting question. And apparently latex ones. So we learn something new every day. Sorry, we'll not be able to get everyone's comments in. Wookiee supremacy. Marriage is a scam. High in protein. You do spend a lot of time stewing in juices. I can't imagine that's fun. Women want marriage more than men for the first time since they've been surveying people. Yeah. Yeah. But hey, women, there's a lot of women, and I've seen them succeed, man. I've worked with, and I've been in the workplace with a lot of women. These women who can slut it out literally into their mid-30s, find a simp, get pregnant, get married. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. And other guys have seen it happen. They don't want it to be somebody's cash out policy. Nobody wants that, man. Nobody wants that. Yeah, that does sound disgusting. Please wash your socks since you did it, please. Marinating indeed. Marinating indeed. What about ChristianMingle.com? Come on, man. A lot of those Christian girls ain't Christians. Dots. Yeah, stop giving the check gonorrhea since you dildo. That's a good point. It's a good point. No one really can, and we shouldn't be. Relationships with women should only last as long as your erection, Wookie says. Shit, like I said, guys don't even care about that no more. And yes, that all still does exist. The chat line is a thing. And yeah, please don't share the gonorrhea. I know a lot of those girls are lonely in Croatia. I know those gals are lonely. Those big Croatian girls. Yeah, please give a courtesy, Vince. I don't know if the girls are big in Croatia. That's just what Barkley said about the girls in San Antonio. Oh, fuck. Whoop trooper. Smell your vibrator. Ask yourself if you really deserve a good man. Fuck. I don't know what to do with this story. I just wanted to explain some of the reasons why it happened. I'm leaving this part out when I clip the stream, or clipping in his own segment. Clipping his own segment. I just wanted to get into why I think that was happening, man. Because it's against conventional wisdom. Conventional wisdom tells you all men are just wild horn dogs. And we see there's more than that. I did not hire a hooker. She was not a hooker. Well, I mean, yes, she was, but what she did was a sex chat. She would talk to guys, talk about their fetishes, and that's what she did. I guess she was a vocal hooker. I wasn't hiring shit. I took her out to coffee. I take a chick out to Starbucks. I took her out to Starbucks, had a phone conversation with her. And that was it. And she did. I don't know. I can't remember when she revealed what she did, but it wasn't immediate. And yeah, that's a super sketch. Legendary clip. You couldn't hear? Well, I mean, is that a shock that you couldn't hear? StreamYard. Even if you couldn't hear, I think it was still pretty entertaining. But I mean, who's shocked? I'm gonna go ahead and, just because I was so entertained by that clip, and even if you guys can't hear it again, to me it's still worth sharing it. We're gonna go ahead and do a double take on the meme of the day because it was just that entertaining. Just that entertaining.
Good morning, Glenn.
Hopefully, you guys can hear it.
Tell us something your mom doesn't know. Yeah.
Okay, still entertaining to me. Tell us something your mom doesn't know if you want to see the clip with audio. Shout out to StreamYard being up. Maybe the audio wasn't turned up. One more time.
Good morning, Glenn. Tell us something your mom doesn't know. Yeah.
It's just so entertaining. Alcohol is a hell of a drug, ladies and gents. Alcohol is a hell of a drug. This does solve a lot of the problem. I think my husband and I solved the divorce problem. Don't give a fuck what the state thinks. The state is the issue, man. The state is the issue. I was not trying to give a sex worker a coupon. Listen. I don't even think it was Tinder. I think it was OK Cupid. Just don't message all these hoes. That's really what it is. This is why I don't do online dating anymore. 8 years in January. Congratulations. Congratulations. There's a couple of big girls here. They're feminists. I see. And there isn't the girls checking her vibrator, making sure she deserves a good man. The most expensive hooker on the planet is still cheaper than keeping a girlfriend. Fuck. Wookiee supremacy with some super red pills. True, you can hear it in your brain. You guys gotta check it out. It's funny. It's very funny. You guys were able to hear it. More funny with sound. It's very funny with sound. And I guess people, I mean, she wouldn't, I don't know how much money she was making. She was able to pay her bills, I guess. Depends what you keep her in, Wookiee. No, it doesn't. I'm kind of with Wookiee, man. Even if you trying to go off cheap with these girls, they'll end up taking the money. Yeah, he probably did get the coup for that. Probably did. That wasn't it's not. Listen, I think, a lot of, we talked about casual sex. A lot of men would love a woman to do what that guy just did to that mic. Yeah. His mom doesn't know he could take the girth. I don't think anyone knew. But yeah, alcohol is a hell of a drug. Yeah, state's always the issue, Whooper Trooper. Wolverine Snicket enjoyed the meme of the day. Go up to a hooker and ask, you take debit? Can I do this in installment plans? I got the Koof jab. That was a thing. You guys see that shit? I didn't really cover it. But the Koof, people with the Koof jab, I think it was Austria. You at the jab, got some free cooch. If you got a jab for the coof, you got a free voucher for some cooch. I'm not joking. And I believe it was Austria. But let's talk about something positive. I don't know who Billy Strings is from Adam, but apparently he's a guitar guy or a singer or something. And I'm getting back into music. He surprised every kid at his former elementary school with a guitar, which is fucking awesome. Billy Strange returned to his former elementary school this week and surprised more than 200 students with their own acoustic guitar. It's a 29-year-old Grammy-winning musician. I don't know what a Grammy means in 2020, 2021, but he's from Michigan, and I'm from Michigan, so always a cool thing. He stopped at Twin Rivers Elementary in Mirror, Michigan, with a U-Haul truck filled with brand new guitars. He says, my guitar has always been there for me through good times and bad times, everything in between. The guitars take me places I can only dream of, and my hope is that one of these guitars does the same thing for one of these kids. I look forward to coming back to see how these future musicians progress for years to come. And that's really cool. Twin Rivers Elementary Principal Paul Frost said 208 students at Twin Rivers each received a guitar. He sat in the seats my students are sitting in now. He's gone on to have the kind of success he had. It opened the possibility up for students here to think, if I work hard towards my dreams, I can achieve my dreams. And he exemplifies that. For him to come back, remember us talking about how important the school was to him when he was a kid, how important the guitar was, and to give something like that to every kid is a meaningful and generous gesture. It was a beautiful thing. And apparently he was on the top 10 country artists to know in 2017. So I guess he's been around for some years. Got the 2021 Grammy Award for Best Bluegrass Album for whatever that's worth for the Grammys. There's another positive story, but we are running low on time, so we have to get out of here. So we are going to get out of here. That's exactly what we're going to do. Hold on a second. I want to play some music on the outro, and there we go. Hopefully you can hear the music. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. Oh, come on, bro. Come on, man. We were just ending. Okay, somebody got him. Yeah, make my own sandwiches. Bitches can't make it right. Bitches don't cook like they used to. We got the Islington girl. She's making sandwiches. Yeah, it was Austria. Why would a female soldier want big tits? I feel like that's a valid question. One of them A countries, Omar Little. Not a valid question to the male soldiers. All right, so that is the end of the show. That's the end of the show. I want to thank everybody for joining me here in this crazy journey we call Life for the Vigilante Williamson Show. If you can like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share, subscribe, I appreciate that. Even if you do none of these things, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Good night. God bless. I appreciate everyone in the chat. Not enough time to go through everyone like I usually do. But thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. I don't know what I would do without your support. Thank you for the super chat, Islington girl. Let me just make sure nobody else snuck one in because I did skip a lot of things. Nope, doesn't look like it. So I want to thank you all for being here. We'll have clips up. Trying to do one clip a day. I think you guys got spammed when I did multiple clips. So a clip will be up tomorrow. Maybe not a show tomorrow. We'll see how I feel because my sleep schedule is all jacked up. So, all right. Thank you for watching. Peace. Come on. There we go.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to